I get my horses out of the arena maybe after the first or second ride in the arena. I want them to get out and experience a little bit of what's coming, some real life, and keep things fresh and keep things going for them, and really expose them to different stimulus. It builds their confidence, and it's not as boring for them, and it's not as boring for me. I think if we keep a horse in an arena too long or in the round pen too long, they can start learning behaviors that's awfully hard to fix later on. On certain horses, I think it's beneficial to have a lead horse, to actually follow another horse, but you have to have someone that you trust and a horse that you trust to be able to do that. You can't just get on your colt and just go. On some of them, I think it's safer to follow in behind another horse. When I first leave my arena, I ride up a little hill. I'm following a seasoned saddle horse, and we come to a gate. And I'm the one that wants to open the gate with my colt. It's a perfect opportunity to have my saddle horse build the confidence for my horse while I'm at the gate. It also creates some patience. And so I spend the time that it takes to get the gate open and to get the gate closed. And a lot of people would come to that gate and say, oh, it's just easier maybe to get off and just walk through. But that doesn't do our horse any good. I'm too lazy to get off my horse anyways. I would just soon stay on. But I would stay on my horse for an hour to get it right. To me, it's that important, and maybe the next time you come to that spot, it'll just get easier. From that point, I try to get my horses out into some big meadows, and again, I'm just following a saddle horse. I'll have the person that I'm following maybe ride a serpentine, and I'll just follow behind. My horse that I'm riding, learning to turn left and right, and learning to follow a feel with my hands and my reins and my legs, but it's just learning what all these things mean. And I really believe it's very beneficial to really serpentine a horse or ride a circle or maybe stop a horse and back it up just one step. All the while having that secure saddle horse there for that confidence to help keep that horse maybe a little more secure. But I don't keep them in it. I'll ask them to do it, and once I get it, I just back off and take it away. And you can do that 30, 40 times outside and not bore a horse or overexpose a horse with it. It's fun for them, it's different, there's a change. I'll walk, I'll trot, I'll lope my horse a little bit, and then I'll go into some brush. I'll find a spot where maybe I can just ride some serpentines around something. Maybe a couple trees and ride some figure eights, and then I'll back some figure eights and back some circles and back some squares. And I want my horse to back just as well as my horse can go forward. But I try to just find a natural object for that certain exercise. It gives the horse more of a purpose. If they cut their corner and they go into the thorn bush, well, it kind of pokes them a little bit and they'll move over just a little, and they learn not to lean on your legs quite as bad, and it just gives them an object to move around. On certain horses, with doing this work outside, maybe even on a warm day, the horse gets a little bit warm. We've worked our serpentines, we've worked our circles, we've walked, we've trotted, we've loped a little bit, we've gone through our serpentines in the brush. All these sort of things has kind of caused our horse maybe to get a little busy, maybe to be a little, not tired per se, but maybe be warm, maybe be a little bit sweaty. We've caused them to work a little bit. And we know that horses are lazy animals. They'd rather stand around than really have to go to work. So what I'll do a lot of times, when it's about time for me to give a horse a rest, I'll give him a rest down by the river. Because water is obviously an obstacle that we have to encounter in a horse's life. And so what I really try to set up is to cause a working situation and have the water be a nice place for the horse to rest and relax. So if I can work a horse out away from it and let the horse take a break at the water, or maybe even in the water and stand in the water, that cool water on their legs, it cools them off and they enjoy it. They can get a drink, and that's the place that they find a lot of relief. So you can take possibly a bad situation and make it something that a horse really looks forward to. One thing that I really think is important to do when I'm following my lead horse, I don't want my younger horse to always think it has to follow. So maybe when I have a straight stretch or kind of an open area, I'm going to leapfrog. So I'll take my young horse and I'll pass the more solid horse, and I'll ride out in front for a little while, and then I'll have the lead horse pass me. And then I'll follow the lead horse again for a little while, and then eventually I'll pass the lead horse and I'll be in the lead. And I really find that it builds a horse's confidence that way, but we don't have to expose them to so much so fast. It gradually lets them know that, hey, it's okay, you can really build their confidence in a really great way by doing that. Sometimes you'll have a horse that wants to hurry back. Say even if you're following the lead horse, it knows the barn's there, it knows it's going to get put away for the day or probably get his bucket of grain, why would he not want to hurry back? A lot of times what we do when we get back from a ride is just get off, unsaddle, and put them away. Well, that's what they would rather have done all day long anyway. So sometimes a horse will hurry back quite a bit, and if they do, that's great. I like to ride so much that I'll just go to the arena maybe. I'm fortunate enough that I have a few cows. I have some roping steers that I use on my young horses and my old. It's fun. I like to rope. And so I'm very fortunate to where I can maybe go out in the little pen there where that I keep them, and I can track the steers back in, and I can track them for a while, and it's really good to get a horse to track. The first thing they do when a horse is born is track the mother. So a horse knows how to track. Every horse knows how to do it. It's just getting them to do it the way you want it done. And so I get my steers in and just track them around a little bit and maybe trot after them, maybe even lope after them a little bit. And then I get my rope down and I could rope a steer and maybe just track the steer with it roped. And I really find that that really builds a horse's confidence because they actually have something that they can push. But I caused my horse to maybe be a little busier than he thought he would have to be as soon as he got back. And before long, your horse will be like, no big deal, we're not done, we're going to have to go do something else anyways. There's no sense in rushing back and endangering you in the process. Now, to me, a horse isn't a tool, but they have to have a job, they have to have a purpose. Just like we have to have a purpose in life, our horses have to have the same. I'm very fortunate to have the situations that I'm blessed with, but if you need a little job to do and you have a small place, ride around the fence. Ride to the mailbox and get your mail. Ride around the block, ride down the county road for 500 feet. It doesn't matter, just something for your horse to do. Giving our horse a job to do so it's a little bit mindful for us and a little bit mindful for our horse. But if we keep them in the arena and keep asking and asking for all these things, before long we start picking. And we pick on our horse and our horse gets defiant. And they soon get defiant of our training or the arena and our training, and they get bad attitude and their tail starts swishing and things just seem to kind of fall apart. And I just don't run into those problems outside.